Hello and welcome to Omaha Culture. I'm your host, Liam Fenwick. On tonight's show, we have a local Omaha artist, the lead singer of the Sons of Rome. Tonight he will perform his original song, I Don't Want to Miss You. Please welcome Dylan J. Lee.
Sing, oh, 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 as I look through the ice, I see tears in your eyes. As we take our time on the fall from the sky, you said keep holding on, it can't hurt to try. But I don't wanna miss you tonight. And I sing, oh, oh, and I see blood in your eyes, and I see truth in your lies. But with the weight of the world, we will take to the sky. But I don't wanna miss you tonight. Miss you tonight. And I sing, oh, 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 I don't wanna miss you. I don't wanna let you know that. I don't wanna miss you. I don't wanna let you know that. I don't wanna miss you
You're talking too loud, 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 loud. 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 You're talking too loud.
All right, thanks for being here tonight, Dylan. My first question for you is, how long have you been playing and performing?
Well, I started playing music at about 10 years old. I taught myself how to play guitar. Took me a long time to figure it out because I didn't have internet, so I started placing my fingers in random places until it sounded pretty. And eventually I figured it out, and I performed my first song in front of a crowd, or anybody in that matter. And it was a Johnny Cash song, and I performed it at my freshman year high school concert.
Which song was it?
It was Folsom Prison Blues.
Did you do it on acoustic guitar?
I definitely did. It was great.
Must have been. What made you decide to pursue a music career in the first place?
You know, music's always been in my life. My grandfather was in a country western band. He recorded a couple songs himself. And I don't know, I just always grew up with music, and from a young age I've been interested in playing my own music. And my grandfather had already quit at that point, so I didn't have any guitars to practice on. And we finally got my first guitar when I was 10 years old, like I said. But
All right. Who are some of your musical influences?
oh man, I have musical influences all over the place. Some artists, almost every artist influences me in one way or another, good or bad. But you know, it ranges from maybe the fearlessness of Kanye West to the beauty and complexity of classical music, or the perfect harmonies of 50s and 60s doo-wop. It's just all over.
All right. How difficult is it to write original music?
It's kind of difficult. I like to think that every song is a song that's already been done, but you got to do it better and make it your own.
Does it come to you like quickly, or does it take days, months to develop?
You know, I'm a very procrastinating person, so I have the idea. Once I get the idea, the whole song's finished in my head. It's just a matter of translating it from my mind to actual music.
Okay. What is one of the biggest challenges you have faced as a beginning artist trying to succeed in this career?
I would honestly say getting people to care, because if they don't know who you are, they're not going to listen to you. And it doesn't matter how good or bad your music is. They might not ever listen to it because of this instant gratification world we live in. If it's somebody they don't recognize, they don't really care.
How do you promote yourself then?
You know, I like to stay away from social media. I'm not a social media kind of guy, but
Me either. But
yeah, give and take. You got to use it though,
it's
in
a
this
great
day
way.
and age.
Yeah, great way to promote yourself. It's for free too.
Absolutely.
Do you think it's more difficult for recording musicians to make a living these days, you know, since of the streaming services and online illegal music downloads? It's not like how it used to be, where the record company and the vinyl records are the only way to get music.
Yeah. You know, it's a double-edged sword, because on one side of it you have today's age, you know, you have all these other artists that can instantly get famous online. You know, you have it's easy, kind of, in a way. But because it's so easy, you have more competition. Well, back in the old days, you didn't have online promotion or anything like that. So, you know, how many artists do we not know about that could have been some of the greatest artists ever, because we didn't have internet back then? So while, yeah, it's hard because of illegal downloads and streaming services and all the competition, it's easier in a way.
And that's why a lot of artists tour and play live more. They go to cities that usually they wouldn't have gone to years ago.
Right.
Smaller towns.
And it's interesting to see how fast they grow because of the internet.
Yes. How did you choose your band name?
This
Sons
is
of
a good
Rome.
one. It's a little bit of a long one, but I'm super into Shakespearean tragedies. And
Like Hamlet?
yeah, actually,
I love Hamlet.
this specific one, the reason why I like them so much is because all the nuances of, you know, the simple phrases and words that have such a complex meaning behind them that you'd never think about until, you know, Shakespeare started doing it. You know, this is referred to as puns. And the one that specifically came to create our band name was from Julius Caesar. And to give a little bit of background, if you don't know, Julius Caesar, Emperor of Rome, he ended up getting overtaken by a group of conspirators, which were some of his best friends. And these group of conspirators ended up going to war. One of these conspirators' names was Cassius, and eventually a lot of them got killed in war or were taken prisoner and killed. But there was about 3 of them left, and they were for sure that one of them was getting killed at the time at a battle, and they hear and see an army coming over the hill, and they don't know who it is. Cassius ends up running away because he's just cowards out. He runs away, his slave follows him, and he's overlooking the hill, and he can't watch anymore as he sees the army approaching, and he hears all the uproar, and he has a servant tell him what's going on below. And his servant says, he lies and says that everybody's getting murdered, and the last of the conspirators and his best friend just got killed because he cowarded out. And Cassius ends up asking his servant to hold the sword to him, and he runs into the sword and kills himself. Well, it turns out the slave was lying, and it was actually the two armies of the last conspirators meeting together. They'd won the battle. And Cassius didn't realize this until his friend Titinius found him. And at this point, they realized that they were going to lose this war. And Titinius says a line, "The sun of Rome has set." Now, this means two things. The sun, as in like a sun going down, sunset, and it's a pun because it also means sun is in future, like a descendant. So it basically, Cassius's death set the end of Rome. And I just really found that line powerful. And that's where I got the name, the Sons of Rome.
It's a very complex story,
Yep.
but I enjoyed it. When you perform live, do you ever get stage fright or feel nerves?
I'll tell you what, I have stage fright right now. When I'm playing music, it's the most comfortable I've ever been in my life. But when I have to talk in front of people, it freaks me out. But playing music live, it's, like I said, I've never felt more comfort in my life than playing music for an audience. So I've never gotten stage fright playing music. Talking about it, a little bit of stage fright now and then.
I understand. I understand you're doing some studio recording right now, recording some songs.
I am.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I have a studio set up in my bedroom, and I am recording my own songs, and I'm actually playing every single instrument for the songs.
Like what instruments?
Drums, bass, keyboards, guitar, obviously singing.
That's good. How can the fans follow your music, and where can they find you?
Like I said, I'm not a big social media person, but every now and then we post on the Snapgram or whatever the kids call it these days. We have Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook, all of the main ones.
What's the username or?
At the Sons of Rome for all
okay.
of them. Yep.
So that's where you can find them. Well, that pretty much wraps up the interview tonight. I don't have any more questions. Thanks for being here, and I'm Liam Fenwick, and this has been Omaha Culture.